Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we are picking up the series on the 22nd of February 1956. Now this video is really part 19A because it's not going to be a full-length video. It's going to focus on a very specific subject, that is getting my track construction, train construction, and possibly an aggregate unloading here. That's all I'm going to do in this video. And that's the reason why I've advanced the date until the 22nd of February, and there's just a little bit of snow left on the ground. Now, to give you a bit of a background, is in the last part, if you watch that, you'll be aware that I was prevaricating a little bit up here about putting my track and train construction up here. And I did actually do a little bit of a test build here just to see what the layout would look like, and I could make it work. But my main concern was that despite having the nice connection to the gravel, it wouldn't give me a particularly very good return for a long time, because I'd have to build lots of track down here, round here, and back to here. And when I started looking around, I thought, well, if I can get it all into this area, what we should be able to do is build the track out this way and possibly export coal. And at the very least, this is where the aggregate store comes in. If I can get coal coming into here, that will give me an option to supply coal to the steel mill for free, and that will then actually free up this building over here for other purposes, such as making cement. And the other thing that occurred to me is that if I can get a regular supply of coal in here for the long term, I'll be able to solve this heating problem that I've got here by actually putting in a proper coal-fired heating plant, which would probably be somewhere in around here anyway. And then that means that these logging camp here will just work exclusively to producing boards. So I think that is the way through. So in this video, I'm literally just going to be trying to put together some ideas that I've got. So it could be a bit painful. So if you guys get a bit frustrated with what I'm doing, apologies in advance. But the first thing I've got to do is get rid of that high tension cable. So let me just see. Ooh, if I could get that really long way, that would be brilliant, as long as that's connected. And what I'd like is to get this up to here. That's going to do it in two. Oh, well, I'll just have to live with that. I've moved the power cable. Now what I would like to do is have the construction office up here so that we can build back along these tracks here. And then in the middle here, we're going to put in the train construction yard, which will then be connected to the depot, which will then be connected to the aggregate store, which will then come to a junction somewhere out around here. So that's the idea. But so what we're going to do is start here. And what I would like is to somehow, oops, I don't want that, I want the road. If I can quite literally come out there. I suppose it doesn't actually cancel. Messed that up, haven't I, already? Oh well. I think if we can come there and there, I'd like to kind of come up here because I want to put a crossover in like that. Then we're gonna, because we're building this with board track, so it should be okay. And then I want to do is kind of curve this round a little bit. I know it looks a little bit kind of odd, but this is literally the track that only the construction trains will use. So we come in here, rail construction office, and what I'd like to do, this one doesn't actually have any what we call it, but it does store a fair amount of goods. To say this isn't going to be the, you could say, the main rail construction office. This is literally just to get me started. And what I would like is it to be kind of pointing slightly that way. So you can get this, oops, I know I've got a bit of a road obsession at the moment. You can get that connected there. Now, the next thing I want is a, what we call it, we'll use off the rails train yard. The idea is this train yard will kind of sit somewhere around here, maybe give it a bit of an angle so that we can get probably at least one. Actually, if we move it up a little bit like that, you just move it back this way a little bit like that. Unfortunately, the ground isn't that level around here, so we have to be, hopefully the track will connect. You can see the way the track is actually dropping. If I turn the wireframe on, you'll see. We'll just drop this down here. See, it's kind of dipped a little bit there. So what we might have to do is kind of move away a little bit like that. So just drop that in there. And then the idea is this will connect to there with just one track. And that is the length of track that we're going to purchase. Well, in theory, we're going to purchase anyway. Right, we can put the roads in there. And you can come there. You can come there. Now, when you build trains, you virtually always got to send them to the depot. I know that technically you could build a train here and send it to another depot, but for the purposes of this exercise, all the trains that will ever be built here will be effectively sent to a single depot. Well, that's the argument I'm using. And let me just see now here. I'm just wondering whether, how much steel does this need? It only needs 15 tons of steel. I don't feel I need to overcomplicate this too much with respect to, I think the only main concern I've got is the fact this has got one connection, this has got 3 connections. So maybe we need to put this far enough away the trains can go to all 3 connections. So if I push this, say, up here a bit like that. Now this track's going to have to be concrete, because this is going to be the proper track. And what we got now is so a train that's manufactured here can go to here, and of course we might need a train here to bring the trucks from here out to here. To be honest, it's a mechanic that I've never 100% explored. So we've now got the depot here, and we can here. I'll just build the roads there. Now comes to the next bit, which is that what I would like here is the ability to unload coal. So we're going to need an aggregate unloading bay here. I did look at mods for unloading, but I think, to be honest, oops, why did that go to roads? Yeah, to be honest, I'm not convinced that this would make that much difference. So what I'm going to do is put in you here, just square you up a little bit there, like that. Actually, I just need to, I think what I might do is just angle you a little bit. For a reason which I'll explain in a little while. Let's put this track, it's dipping down here again. We're going to have to kind of just level off a little bit and then push back like that. I think that will work. Then we're going to connect you. I think that works. In fact, I don't feel I need even 2 of those. I think we just need the one here. And of course, what we need is the road in here. When we're also getting to a point where I need to start thinking a little bit about what you could call it, asphalt roads. And then now, obviously, we're not going to bring in vast quantities of coal here, so what we can do is get a small aggregate store what I'd like it to do is be possibly a bit like that, so that, and we could keep it short so that we could get possibly a loading bay in there. So say for example we can get that like that, you can come there, and then if we come to here, we've got a I could there's a what we might have to do is go that way with a truck aggregate loading, but that would then connect to there. I want these roads built as single entities. We've now got, this is an unloading bay, which we would then be using to deliver the coal to here, which we could then send up. Just gonna press F1, turn off that there. And what I need to do now is kind of do something that's a little bit jiggery pokery here. Got the connector there. What I'm gonna need is a, whoops, need a back curve so that I can come back and finish off these little bits here of the construction train. Although would the construction train get through all this lot? Would it get through here, get through the terminal? Or do I really need to worry about those? Because we can build from there, and then this would make this quite simple. Although strictly speaking, the construction train's going to need to get into here to build all this as well, isn't it? Oh, we could build from here, here, and here. I don't know how far that will go. I think what I will do is I'll put in an option for the construction train to be able to get in from both directions. And if we don't build it, we don't build it. We're going to have to come out here like that. We're going to need a crossover here for this to make sense. And then you can curve round there, and we've got a connection there that's far enough away, so and then curve you out like that, and you can like that, you come there, and you can come there. So let me just review what I've done. So the idea is that we'll have the ability to import coal from here to here, or export as and when this is finished, though we'll probably have to do these little bits later on. There's also this bit here that will have to be built because I've only done the 2 track connections here, so that'll be done. We've got the ability to build the tracks. We've got this here where we can build the track lane vehicle, and in fact let me just do it. And then we've got the depot, so when we build trains here, we need to assemble trains. We'll be able to assemble them in the depot here. Then we've got the aggregate store here, which we can unload at and get that there. And I think that will work. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to accept that. And then this has to be the section that we're going to have to buy, simply because we need to get the rail construction train from here to here to be able to build. So we're going to buy that. I'm going to fund it with dollars because I've got dollars. So we're just going to build that little section of track there, and hopefully that will sort things out a little bit. I know it looks a bit messy. It could probably be a bit more compact. To me, this makes sense because it means I can get the track out here with reasonable expense, get the infrastructure set up for here to be able to bring the coal over, and also possibly export coal, so we'll be able to make a bit of money. Just let the game run. You can see I've actually got up to nearly 94,000 rubles, because effectively what I did for most of the winter is I just didn't allocate any new jobs. I just let the game run just to wind the video up, because I don't want this video to be too long, because it's really just as I said, a part 19A. It's not the full length part. That's the reason why it's actually coming out the day after part 19. So I just wanted to get it sorted in my head before I went into the next proper video cycle. But just for anyone who's following the series, a bit of give you a bit of an update of what's going on. What I've got is I queued up a few buildings here, doing a little bit of an experiment here by putting this Jade 4-story right next to this corner block to see if it fits together. But we're also building this because the population is growing quite nicely. We're over 2,000 now, and we got 1,125 workers. This area here is slowly coming together as well. Now, I would like to get this finished. The silo over here, as you can see, is making good progress. And what's going to happen is once these crops are emptied out of this silo, then I'm going to stop selling food until we get to, say, July. So that's something we also want to do. The other thing I've also done out here is I've told these guys to start building a tiny construction office here, because I was considering planning out here, but the problem I've got is I can't level anything. So I thought, well, if I build a tiny construction office here like I did back there and send an excavator out, I can then possibly do a bit of planning. The other thing I'm also considering is getting rid of this small coal mine and putting a full-size coal mine in there. Probably the best way to explain it is if we come to most coal mines are classified by the amount of coal that can be mined per worker. So the problem with the tiny coal mine is the fact that it's got less workers in it. And considering this is a relatively rich area, I think it'd be worth spending the money to get a full-size coal mine in there. And I think that's about everything that has changed. One thing I will need to do, but I'll do it off camera, is I need to rebalance these fields and get these distribution offices back onto the primary fields here. And what I have to do is kind of disconnect these and get these going. I've also added, I think it's this field, to the farm as well, just to try and push my luck a little bit harder. I've got the combines are actually all in this little shed here. So we've got these guys ready to go. As I say, I'll sort the fields out off camera. And beyond that, everything else is kind of going fairly well at the moment. And I think what I just need to do is just catch up with these roads. And in the next part, the focus will be very much on Coal Town and possibly bringing this lot together. Because, of course, I've just put in loads of roads which have just been auto-detected. But I think it would be worth it. In fact, there's one road missing. I put this... Oh, no, I did put the road in. Sorry. It's this one that's missing. That one there. I knew one was missing. And of course, eventually we're going to need to build these buildings out. And of course, the buildings where we need to build first is this one, because this is the one that's going to make my construction train, which will then move to there. And then we'll start the slow process of laying track. But this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.